Welcome to Besties and Bubbles.
Welcome. Cheers, friends.
Cheers, friends.
Ooh, I need a fill already. So
delish.
I think there are a lot of things that you and I do very well.
I mean, yes, I would agree.
We do a lot of things very well, but because we talk every day and we're close and we're besties, I also know there's one thing we don't do very well.
Dear friend, what is that?
We don't sleep very well.
That is actually very true. We do not sleep.
Both of us. And I don't know about everybody.
Consistently,
but
we do not sleep very well.
Consistently. True. Consistently.
Yeah.
If I wake up well rested, I'd be like, wow, I didn't get up all night or whatever, I'd be like shocked.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So we thought this is like, sleep is good for you. Everybody knows sleep is good for you. But we were kind of like, okay, in the 40s and 50s, why are we not sleeping well?
This is very true. Why are we not sleeping well?
And I would think technology is one of those things, right? Everyone
I would agree.
Says phone
right.
and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But we kind of dove deeper and you were like, there's hormonal things. There's reasons why in our 40s and 50s, men and women, why we're not actually sleeping well.
This is true. And it's really not our fault.
Well, that's awesome.
I mean, it's just something as Gen Xers we're all going to go through, right? And all the generations that were before us and all the generations that are after us. It's just what it is.
Okay, so what? Tell us, enlighten us.
So for females, right? Females particularly that are in perimenopause or menopause, our estrogen and progesterone levels decrease. Well, guess what? Estrogen helps regulate sleep.
Okay.
And for men, testosterone levels decrease. And that also helps regulate sleep. Like good sleep.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, I mean, there are things that we can do to help with that, but you have to, lower estrogen levels, lower progesterone levels put you, I don't know if you've ever had like hot flashes or night sweat.
Yes.
That's awful.
Not anymore, but yes.
Right? So that's a result of those hormone levels decreased.
Right. Okay. Well, we did a little research on that, and we also did a research on why we need as much sleep as we need. So they said 40s and 50-year-olds need, do you know how much sleep?
Probably a lot, but I don't know.
A lot.
8, 7, I don't know.
7 to 9 hours of sleep. That's like National Study of Sleep Group.
I would love that.
I think it's a lot.
I would welcome that.
Of course. Have you ever slept 9 hours, Kim?
On the weekends.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't text you early in the morning.
Well,
I don't sleep 9 hours.
I don't know about our friends, but I will wake up. If I don't have to get up for something, I can easily roll over and go back to sleep. So, I don't. Can you do that?
Sometimes I do a little nappy poo here and there, but I would say it's very short lived. And then I'm like, I should just get up because I'm awake. Yeah. Or I'll turn on the TV or something like that. But we know that there's many benefits to trying to get that 7 to 9 hours. So we looked that up because we wanted you to know that, because we feel like this is something, obviously everybody has to sleep. And if you're not sleeping well, let me try and convince you about why. Do you know that it helps improve your memory? It helps improve.
The think tank.
The think tank. Not the money maker,
the think tank. The think tank.
Yes. So it helps you with memory when you're like, that brain fog thing. I don't know exactly what that means or if it's about lack of sleep, but I think it has something to do with that, right? Where
I absolutely think it does.
Yeah. If you don't have enough sleep, then you are going to be in a deficit, and it's definitely not going to help your memory. If you get enough sleep, it's going to help your memory.
I agree.
Being in a better mood is obvious because
Abby.
If
you don't get enough
children,
right? Think about your own kids as Gen Xers,
or your own husband.
Yes, or even your grandbabies,
Yes.
Everyone's cranky if you don't get enough sleep.
Exactly. Yes. So just putting yourself in a better mood. If you can get through that 7 to 9 hours, there is a better chance you get. It's not to say somebody else is not going to derail you. Be in a better mood, though. Have a better memory.
I agree.
Balance your hormones.
Yes.
They say, yes, balance your hormones.
I would agree. And I think that there are certain things that you can do, right? There are certain supplements that you can use to help balance your hormones.
We're going to say talk to your doctor for that.
Please.
Please do that.
We're not experts. We're just experienced. And so
stronger immune system.
Oh, yeah. Right?
That makes sense. I didn't know that till I researched it, and I would have said that. I don't think I would have said that off the top of my head before, but that makes sense.
Yeah, because when you're not feeling well, they say get rest.
Or when you're really tired, you're more likely to come down with something.
Yes.
That's happened in my life.
Right? Duh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, the big thing is if you are a regular good sleeper, then you are less likely to have a chronic disease.
Okay.
Which is
what would constitute as a chronic,
like diabetes or anything that you could come down with. What were the other ones?
I mean, I'm sure. So here's one thing I have heard is that if you're trying to maintain a healthy body weight, right, or lifestyle, right?
Yes.
Sleep is very, very important. And we're not talking about like sleeping throughout the day. We're just talking about like going to bed at a decent time at night.
Right.
And then waking up at a decent time.
Yeah.
We all have like an internal body clock.
Right.
Right. And this is what we're talking about that gets off track. But if you can help maintain that, there are so many things. It's so funny. I know I'm going to go a little bit off track here. We didn't talk about this, but our oldest, there was a book by an actual sleep doctor, and it was called The Sleep Train.
Okay.
And it went through this process because he was having trouble sleeping. When I say
at night or napping?
No, at night.
Ooh, okay.
He went through a series of night terrors, which is really awful as a parent to see your little child go through this, right? Because it's something that they can't control. And we would help. Oh, it was Remy. It was Remy.
Ironically?
Yeah. Yeah, right? Anyway, we read this book to our son, and it really helped reinforce like why sleep was so important. It was, Remy the brain train. So
did it help him sleep? Maybe it was a combination of things.
I'm going to go with yes.
I'm going to go yes, because eventually he started sleeping.
He did.
All things have a course.
Yes.
Okay. I do know that people look better.
Yeah. Right?
When they're rested.
You know when you wake up in the morning and you're like,
and you go back in front of the mirror and you're like, ugh.
Wow.
What I don't think anyone should ever say though is, you look tired.
Never.
I have had people say to me, I go, that you should never say that to a woman.
Never. You should
never like a romantic partner or friend has said that. You look tired. I'm like, you should never say that.
Yeah.
But it was probably true. I probably was tired. But it's true that if you get enough sleep, you look better.
You do.
And you feel better and you have more energy.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are all positive things that you get if you could just figure out how to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep.
Well,
so how do you do that?
I was just going to ask, friend, how do we do this?
Okay. So what we looked up is going to sleep and waking up at the same time.
They do say this. Meaning
those people.
The interwebs and the socials.
The interwebs. This is why Kimmy and I don't sleep well. Because I don't think that we do that well.
No, I try, but sometimes because of hormones, I wake up in the middle of the night, and then
Also, you
what?
don't go to sleep at the same time every night, and you don't wake up at the same time every night. Sometimes we have to train at 6 a.m., Kimmy. So you have to set your alarm. You have to get up at 5. Other times you train at 8, and you wake up at 6.
Okay, thanks for fact checking me.
Do you know? No, I'm just. It's the same thing, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because of our schedule.
Because of our schedules.
I don't think that we go to sleep at the same time, and I don't think we wake up at the same time. But that is recommended if you could quite possibly do that.
Well, you're right. And I would say for Gen Xers, because we're mostly finished or done, like almost finished raising our kids.
Yeah.
I think if you have small kids, right, and you're tucking them into bed at night and like getting up, you know what I mean? I think that's a little easier.
Sure.
To help get that sleep.
Sure.
Consistent sleep check in order. But when you're not,
and you're waiting for your kid to get home, and his curfew's 11,
right,
or 11:30,
and
you want to make sure. Yes, I get that. It is different seasons of your life, right? Cause you, but they're saying that's just the first recommendation is to go to sleep and to wake up.
I do agree. I think it's more difficult to be done than said.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
And the second
I agree with the recommendation.
The second recommendation is even worse.
Wow, what's that?
Limit screen time. That includes your phone.
Yeah.
Do you go to sleep with your phone next to you?
It's on my nightstand.
That's next to you.
Well,
is your nightstand in the next room?
No, it's not.
Then it is next to you.
It is, but if I have to charge my phone, it's like on the other side of the room.
Oh, really?
My
charger is
on purpose.
It's on my on purpose. Oh, that's smart. Well, you're smarter than me, because my charger is next to me because I like to have it. I also use it for my alarm too.
Now, see, I have an old school alarm.
You have a digital clock? I
have a digital clock. I have a
so Matt hears it go off, and
yes. Well, actually, you know what? I hear Matt's alarm go off all the time.
Matt has a digital clock too?
No, he doesn't.
It's his phone?
It's his phone, but I have a digital, and I love the digital. You know what? I actually have my clock set 30 minutes ahead of what the actual time is.
Why do people do that? That's not the time.
It's not, but that's just a mental thing, and that's probably, I mean, I would actually, because we're talking about sleep.
You're talking about recommending it.
I'm not talking about recommending it.
I need a drink for this.
I would love to know from our friends who else does this.
That I would like to know too. Who sets their clock? You do it 30 minutes ahead?
Yeah, so it's not like my alarm. It's my clock. So let's just take an example.
Please.
Let's say I want to wake up. Let's say I put my alarm for 6 a.m.
Yes.
But really, when my alarm goes off, it's 5:30. But I don't want to see a 5.
But you know it's 6.
It's so psychological. Maybe it's me that's messed up. Friends, let me know.
No, I think a lot of people do that.
But if you subscribe to that same thing, please let me know. How do you wake up when you set your alarm on your phone? Do you set a buffer?
I wake up the same time every day.
Without an alarm clock?
No. Well, normally before my alarm, strangely.
Oh.
But
okay.
If we're training, if we have to, this is summer in Chicago, so we haven't been training at
okay, so you're saying your alarm, you get up based on me.
No, no. Ish. I get up, my alarm goes off every day at 6 o'clock.
Okay, regardless if we're training or not.
Even on the weekends. Oh. Even if I'm out till 3 in the morning, my alarm still goes off at 6.
Wow.
Now, not saying if it's a Saturday morning, I don't have anything to do and I just got home, that I'm not.
So you don't turn.
I don't cancel it. Well, if I get home at 3 in the morning, I'm not thinking about it. It still goes off.
Okay.
And the dogs are like, hey, time to get out.
Well, you do have your puppies, so that's true.
But now when I train you at 6, then I move the timer. The alarm to go off earlier. But on days, I just feel like that's a good time for me to get up. I also like to work out before I train clients. So if I'm training you at 8, that gives me time to do a whole workout before I'm working.
This is true. This is true.
So yes, that's my gig with the time. So anyway.
Okay, right. So TBD on the consistent time.
We don't do it very well.
We don't do it very well.
Okay, wind down routine. If you could come up with like the best routine to like, I really need a good sleep tonight, what would you do?
It's probably not what's recommended, but
really,
well,
good wind down routine.
A good wind down. Yeah. So I do try to do this, right? Depends. Sometimes I shower at night, like just a quick shower.
Yep.
Right.
Warm water helps.
Right. Just depends on what's going on. Face treatments, all that good stuff. Nice PJs.
Oh,
I mean,
that's in the routine.
Well, yes.
Okay. Are there bad PJs and nice PJs?
No. I just mean like PJs.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
you wear silk pajamas?
Sometimes.
You do?
Sometimes.
I don't enjoy silk pajamas. They're not stretchy.
In the summertime, I basically am in but not t-shirts and shorts, but like PJ t-shirts and shorts. Does that make sense
like
to everybody? Yeah.
Cotton.
Yeah. And I wear contacts, so I take my contacts out and put my glasses on. I'm getting
don't you do that every night?
Yeah, but I try to do a nice sleep, and then I get into bed with Maddie, and really we watch the news.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's part of your wind down.
That is part of the wind down. Or sometimes it depends on what the season is, and my husband may take control. This is after the weather, right? Like I got to see the news to the weather. So anyway,
that's Jake Eisman running by. He just stopped and waved to us because he saw us recording. Okay, I have to cut that out. That's so funny. Did you see him?
I did. I didn't know who it was.
It's Jake.
I chose the make no eye contact.
I couldn't help it. I'm like, yeah. And then he stopped and looked back. And
he did.
That's so funny.
That was weird. He stretched.
It's so funny.
Anyway, he did stretch.
It's so funny. Okay. Well, I think the ideal wind down routine for most people would be to like shut off electronics. Yes, get comfortable, wash your face. If you could get in a hot tub or a bath, shower, yes. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I think that helps you sleep. And I think that's like the best. They say, get rid of electronics, all that stuff. Not watch TV. I do watch TV also. I'm not a good sleeper. So
I think it really depends because a lot of times.
It?
Well, because I fall
This is like a sleep study.
I fall asleep though.
I know.
To the TV.
I do too.
Now, I know people that will read a book, right? I mean, how many times people have read a book and then they're like, and they go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like
then you have a book on you.
You do, but I think something that will. Here's the other thing. I actually also pray. Yeah. I pray at night.
You pray at night.
I do. I pray at night and I pray first thing in the morning. So.
But when you pray at night, is the TV on? Or you shut the TV off and then go to sleep?
No, I shut the TV off and then I pray and then I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So
I don't even want to. I fall asleep to the TV every night.
I do, but I do try. As long as we're talking about consciously getting good sleep.
Consciously, yeah.
If Maddie has fallen asleep, right, then I will turn off the TV and then I will pray and then we'll go to sleep. I'm sure everyone has
we're gonna circle back to that. Okay. The other things were avoiding stimulants. I don't drink coffee or caffeine, but I would imagine that is a thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's a simple thing you can do is to avoid drinking coffee before bed or too late in the day, right?
I would
agree.
also
say eating before bed is not good too because it
no, that is not good.
That does not help your sleep. Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, no, like drinking water, is good,
right?
But
yes. Well, unless you get up and pee all night, see which.
I know.
Also depends on your age. What about they say create a nice sleep environment? Now, this goes back to another podcast that we had. How decluttering your life. If your room or your sleep space is full of things to do and piles of laundry and all that kind of stuff, it affects how you sleep.
This is true.
And if you can declutter that room, if you can create a nice sleep space, then, fold the laundry, put it away. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No.
I think now that's what experts say. And
sure.
I would say I concur.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
You would
right?
concur?
I would concur.
I love concur.
Concur
We need to bring that word back.
Concur is good. Because here's the thing. Specifically, when we do laundry, and I say we, that's myself and my husband, to fold it, I purposely put it on our bed.
Okay.
So that we have to fold the laundry before we get into the bed.
Okay. And when you fold the laundry, do you put it away in the drawers or do you just put it on the floor?
No, we put it away.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Where it belongs.
That's a task. Before we get in bed, we have to do it.
Right.
Do you make your bed every day?
We do make our bed every day.
What if Matt's the last one out? Does he make the bed? You know what? All right, don't answer. That's fine.
Sometimes he does.
Really? Okay. I have to make my bed. I'm the only one that sleeps in my bed, and I have to make my bed in the morning.
It's a sense of accomplishment.
Yes. Yeah. So we actually have talked about that before in our podcast.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I really think that it's difficult to get a good night's sleep if you have a snoring partner. And I'm going to say this based on experience. And I'm also going to say this as a realtor. I think those days are coming back when it is going to be socially acceptable for married couples to have 2 separate rooms that are connected with a bathroom.
Like a Jack and Jill?
Like a Jack and Jill. Mark my words. I know it's a trend, but I bet it's coming back. And some of you are going...
Like as an actual house design.
As a house design, as a realtor, I really do think that is going to be coming back. Because sleep is so important.
Yeah.
And if you have a snoring partner, you can't get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
I know this from the interwebs, the socials, and all the other words that I thought you made up that are actual words. I know this.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know from my own experience. And so that is a big thing. I think that if you are constantly with someone like, oh, I have to go to sleep first. If I wake up, I go to the bathroom and then they're snoring. You know what I mean? Like, how do you stop somebody snoring? There's a whole nother podcast. But like all that stuff, if you are in that situation where somebody's keeping you up and they're in your bed, you can't have a good night's sleep.
No, you can't. And
why should you do that your whole life?
Right. Well, especially we still have jobs to go to, right?
Everything. We just listed all the benefits of getting a good night's sleep.
Right. No, and I don't disagree. And it can kind of be fun, right? If you have 2 bedrooms.
I think it is. It's like, hey, let's hang out in this one.
Play bedroom.
My room, my bed or your bed tonight.
Yeah. Why don't you come up and see me sometime?
I think it's coming back, actually.
Okay.
I actually had a really good night's sleep last night.
Were you in your bed by yourself?
I was in my bed by myself. Oh. Well, no, I have my dogs with me.
Well, you do have your pups.
My dogs sleep in my room. They don't always sleep on my bed, but
okay.
Yes, I was the only human in my room, and I had a good night's sleep. I think you had a good night's sleep last night. I think we talked about it this morning, didn't we?
Yeah, I did have.
It's a rarity.
It is.
And ironical that we're now talking about not sleeping well, but there are periods of time where, like, I have a good night's sleep.
Yeah. And I do think, though, as we kind of discussed earlier, the older we get and the loss of hormones, really, it's critical. So
it's a battle.
It is a battle. And we're all going through it. It's nothing that we did or didn't do. Right. And so the communication and the message that we wanted to deliver today was, number 1, to say you're not alone, right? Yeah. For us Gen Xers.
Right.
And number 2, there's some certain things that we can do to try to help with it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But you know what?
This is what the experts say. So try and see what works for you.
Yes, do see and try what works for you. But if you are up at 3 a.m., like, shoot us a message.
Something on our Facebook page. Yeah, we would love to communicate with you.
Come on. Chances are we might be up.
I think it's so funny. Now, how many episodes are we into this?
I don't 15, know. 14? Over a dozen, yeah.
But yeah. So of recorded and released episodes, right? So we have, it's so funny. People come to us individually.
Yes.
But no one's necessarily brave enough to comment on the Facebook page or the YouTube page, right? But it's so funny. Be brave. What you might say might help someone else. If you're doing something or you're taking something that helps you sleep in this situation, please comment.
Let us know. We're all in this big boat together.
Please comment, because other people might feel the same way. So,
and
would benefit from your information.
Just saying. So,
all right. Cheers, Kimberly.
Cheers, my love.
You are my friend. Even though you don't sleep well, she still shows up on time to work out in the morning. Every morning.
Well, yes. Maybe I might push it back by 15 minutes or so. But you never know.
Hey, whatever. I'm flexible.
And I'm so grateful for that. So, cheers to you. Cheers to our friends. And you know what?
Cheers to good sleep. Work on it. It's so important. Okay.
We love you.
We love you.